Hey, it's Jesse here, and I'm here doing a commentary for Torgo Sings. I'm going to discuss the genesis of this video because it's sort of complicated. We had wrapped up production on the Did I Get What I Paid For episode featuring the Flintstones, and I immediately knew I wanted to do something with Torgo again. You know, he's a great guy to work with. But we didn't know what it was, and the original idea, which we still might do, is have him appear in the background or as a cameo or post-credit sequence in a few of the other Did I Get What I Paid For episodes leading up to our mid-season break episode, which is probably going to be Manos. We have a rough outline for the rest of the season of what movies I'm going to do and whether or not I can have a guest star. Then Matt and I were going someplace and we got stuck in traffic. And just to keep from being bored, I started singing along with what Matt had on the radio, but I did it as Torgo. Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. And Matt started laughing at it. So I started doing just random other songs. And Matt said, hey, that could be your next video. Then it just became a matter of how do we frame it, what device we use to justify it. I'm not sure which one of us came up with the idea for that 1-800 number CD collections gimmick, but it struck me as a real smart idea. Whichever one of us came up with it. You know, I've talked about this before. Sometimes Matt and I will have almost the exact same idea at the exact same time. Other times, one of us will start an idea and it's just not quite funny enough, and then one of us will add to it, and then the person who came up with the idea will add something else, and then it'll just sort of snowball out of control. Which is sort of how Torgo got started in the first place. But we realized once we nailed it down to a pretty significant number of songs, and we trimmed it down even further, and even when we got, you know, the number of test tracks you would probably need for a 6 CD collection, that because Torgo's voice is so slow and stilted, that what would have been a 2-minute commercial for any other CD collection was 20 minutes. Which, according to a buddy of mine, Ben Reinhardt, means that my Torgo is pretty damn accurate. But that meant turning it from a 2-minute commercial into more of an infomercial, which is why we created video of Torgo doing random everyday things instead of just me singing the songs. Which again turned out to be a lot more fun. It meant it was more difficult to shoot. We recorded the songs first, and that was an interesting experience because singing as Torgo took a lot out of me. Especially when I had to try to sound sing-songy. But the funny thing about that is I was in the middle of singing at least twice, had very mild, I don't even think you can detect it in recording, asthma attacks. One was in the middle of Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress, and the other was in The Impossible Dream. So between those two, I took 2 brief breaks, which worked out fine because then we got to Suddenly Seymour, and that has another interesting story behind it. The idea was that we wanted to do one song that Torgo didn't fuck up. And originally that was going to be Impossible Dream, but again, we didn't know if we wanted to do Matt singing for Torgo not screwing up, because, he's the more musically inclined, or if I should be the one to do it. That was taken out of my hands. We realized that if Matt did Torgo singing when he wasn't fucking up, and I did it the rest of the time, people would notice. So then it was a matter of finding those songs on the list that were in a range that I could do. Then we realized the idea of Torgo singing everything beautifully when his unheard, unseen duet partner was supposed to be the late Anne Ramsey would be a hell of a lot more funny, just because those who know who Anne Ramsey was would find the idea that she would have to sing, or that Torgo would be singing opposite her, well, to be absolutely absurd. But once we realized we were doing an infomercial, we went to Dollar Tree to get some props. We originally wanted this fancy remote-controlled boat from Five Below, because we thought it'd be easier to operate. We'd get a chance to, spoof the boat around the lake, and it'd be easier to get out of the water. But Five Below was out of them. So we wound up at Dollar Tree, which is a place Matt and I go to look for movies for our bad movie club, or for did I get what I paid for, quite often anyway. And we got, we got a robot, we got a yo-yo, we got some silly string, we got a whole bunch of random stuff. And then we just sort of improv'd our way through this everyday stuff that Torgo was going to do, along with crap that we already had. We originally wanted to do the whole puzzle. The scene where Torgo's putting the puzzle together, we originally wanted to do the whole thing, but then we remembered that both Matt and I suck at doing jigsaw puzzles, and we spent about an hour trying to put it together, but we got maybe a tenth of the way through it before we just said, fuck it. And then we realized, Torgo would be even slower, he'd get even more impatient. And that's how I came up with the whole Torgo Mad, Torgo Smash thing. Okay, the other genesis of this movie came from another YouTuber who's a lot more popular than I am. A guy by the name of Frederick Knudsen, who does a show called Down the Rabbit Hole. And he did an episode on a musical instrument called the hurdy-gurdy. And I loved the sound of it. I asked Matt if his professional DJ equipment or his synthesizer had the capability of doing a hurdy-gurdy. And he said he didn't know. But then he looked at the website that sells new instrument packs for his synthesizer and found out a packet for a hurdy-gurdy was, I think, $2. So we downloaded it. And then Matt and I, being Matt and I, we asked ourselves, what would be the craziest song to play on a hurdy-gurdy? And this was originally completely separate from the whole Torgo thing. We joked about Walking on Sunshine, I Can See Clearly Now. I don't remember who came up with Happy and You Know It. I think that was me. That sounds more like me. I like the idea of doing something really, really dark and grim on a lighthearted instrument, which led to a video that Matt and I did for his channel, a cover of Don't Fear the Reaper on a ukulele. And I sort of see this version of Happy and You Know It as the sequel, at least in a spiritual sense, to that, by having a song that most of us remember from our childhood. Something good, something pure. turned into a funeral dirge. We didn't know who should sing Happy and You Know It. Originally, Matt's idea was that he should do it, but then we thought that would be too similar to what we did with Reaper. Then I said, well, I could do it. But then, no, that wouldn't quite work. I didn't think that would be funny enough. Then we thought of doing another Spaso song. But we'd just done a few like that before with Funkatronic Jive for Guess Who. Then we started doing Torgo Sings, and that led us to doing Torgo Happy and You Know It on the hurdy-gurdy. And combining those three elements turned out to be one of the funniest things I've done in a long time. I don't know if anyone else thinks it's funny, but I do. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I had to say. Oh yes. Picking songs for Torgo, that was an interesting process. Matt and I created a list originally of maybe 50 songs that we trimmed down to 25, which we trimmed down a little bit further. And then we went through those and tried to pick which would be the funniest ones for Torgo to actually sing. And even then we had to ask a few of our friends. We didn't even have Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds on our radar when we did Torgo Sings the Beatles until an old online pen pal of mine suggested it, and we gave him credit for that. Originally it was going to be Nowhere Man, Fool on the Hill, with me actually singing Fool on the Hill. We thought the songs were a little bit similar, but it worked. And then we were going to do Hey Jude, which wouldn't have been quite as funny. But we went through the list of songs and tried to think of ones that would be absurd for Torgo, like These Boots Are Made for Walking, which I ultimately didn't sing because we had a time limit. Songs that reflected who Torgo is, like Nowhere Man. And then songs that actually make more sense when Torgo sings them, like Long Cool Woman. And then we occasionally would just get songs we threw in as little inside jokes. Matt's mom hates the Electric Light Orchestra. I don't know why, but she does, and she especially hates the song Mr. Blue Sky, which is a song Matt and I both actually, well, we hate to admit it, but we like it. But that's basically all you need to know about this video. If you like this commentary and want me to continue doing commentaries on the occasional video that gets a little bit too weird at first, leave a comment. Till next time, see you around.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. if you're happy